another guy that, last couple of weeks has really done what you would hoped he would be Cedric Tillman. And these are the numbers before and after the Amari Cooper trade. So that's the delineation between the first 6 games and the last two. So before the trade, 6 games, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 9 yards. He didn't get a lot of snaps. After the trade, though, 2 games, 21 targets, 15 receptions, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. When you go back and take a look at Cedric Tillman, what have you seen the last couple of weeks from him?
Yeah, and I think Kevin Stefanski did a nice job of illuminating with Cedric. It was less performance and more just he wasn't in that. He didn't crack the group of the top three yet. So he got some snaps, obviously, but he wasn't fitting into what they want to do with their 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers. And then Amari is traded, and all of a sudden he's the perfect, hybrid between playing inside, outside, X receiver for them when they need that type of player. He does a little bit of everything there. So he can play Z, he can play all over, preferentially outside. And I think that's where Amari and Jerry Judy live. And then you get into this situation now where you have a guy like him who can do a little bit of everything from different spots, but he can find himself in the primary read of concepts, which is what happens, right? So, as far as Cedric's ability, I would say that the last 2 weeks, I want to be very careful not to pump him up beyond belief here, and then things don't go as perfectly the rest of the year. But that's not really it. I mean, he's had a couple nice weeks where he's where he needs to be, which for a young guy who came from a very gimmicky college offense at Tennessee, I think he needed to learn the game in a very meaningful way and try to figure out how to be where he was supposed to be, when he was supposed to be there, and understand route breaks, how things change from this really wide sideline stretch horizontal offense in college that involved very little thinking, and then changing him to be a guy who's lining up inside the numbers at times or down in condensed formations and various things that involve reading pre-snap to post-snap and maybe changing your route depth, changing your break, changing your decision based on what coverage looks like. That's a challenge for a receiver who needs time to grow into that. So not to say that it all clicked for him the last 2 weeks. I just think that he's getting more opportunity now, and that helps. And what he's doing is catching the football in the places he's supposed to catch the football, and then obviously being able to make some separation at the catch point, which I think is also very important. Have we seen him go up and take a neutral situation, jump over somebody, or make a really insane catch, or kind of back shoulder stuff? No, we haven't seen that stuff yet, but we have seen him, when in the position to catch the football, be where he's supposed to be, catch it pretty physical after the catch point, breaking some tackles, which is something I thought he would bring with his body type out of Tennessee. That's a positive. But again, I think it's genuinely just simple enough as being where you're supposed to be, running the correct route. And then I think some of his route stuff has been pretty clean too. So it's a strong 2 weeks. Can we say he's a bona fide top two on receiver on a team now? No, we need, like I said just a few moments ago, we need more sample size of all of this stuff. But it's a great 2 weeks, and a guy that you started to feel like maybe he didn't have a pathway in the NFL because of what was going on here. All of a sudden that opens up for him, and you can see what is there to be liked and why he was drafted where he was drafted. He's a long striding, taller, physical wide receiver who can block a little bit, do a bunch of some of the external things, and then if he starts putting it together mentally, he can be a nice player. Do I think he's ever a bona fide number one receiver? I'd be pretty surprised by that outcome. I don't think he does some of the off the wall athleticism things, and I don't think the hand eye coordination is elite to be that, but you don't want to put a ceiling on where a guy who gets an opportunity and starts to gain confidence can go. And I'm very open to being intrigued by what he could be the rest of the year and ultimately what his rookie contract plays out like.